The chapter begins with Bruce being captured by absolute Mr. Freeze. He's taken to a mysterious facility while memories of a conversation with his friend Waylon Jones come to mind. But something strange is happening to Bruce's eyes. They're turning red, just like the villains. Victor Fries Jr. leads him to a massive cryogenic chamber. There, he prepares to freeze Bruce alive. And just a reminder, he's still calling Bruce Pennyworth, since Bruce lied about who he really was in the last chapter. Bruce tries to fight back, even tries to grab the villain's neck with the little strength he has left. But he's too weak and ends up passing out. When he wakes up, Bruce is trapped inside the machine. Mr. Freeze watches him and says that was the last rest Bruce would ever get. What comes next is pain, unbearable pain. Looking around, Bruce sees he's not alone. Others are frozen too. These people, the rich and powerful of Gotham, agreed to be frozen voluntarily, hoping that someday in the future a cure will be found for their incurable diseases. But Freeze makes it clear that ice doesn't save anyone. Only memory saves, the memory of revenge. Then he activates the machine and Bruce begins to feel insane pain, the burning sting of hypothermia, a cold so intense it burns, and for 30 minutes, Bruce wishes for death. Meanwhile, we return to that earlier conversation Bruce had with his friends. Bruce argues with Waylon because, as Batman, he wants to go on this crusade alone and doesn't want to hurt them. But Croc doesn't let that slide. He calls Bruce a coward, just like Batman. The jab hits Bruce hard, and they start fighting. Back in the present, trapped inside the chamber, Bruce is in excruciating pain and slips into his memories. He wonders if he really is a coward for throwing himself into this suicide mission. As he reflects on that, the fight between the two continues. He remembers jumping out of the helicopter to face Black Mask. Bruce always chooses the path of death, and he's doing it again. Meanwhile, the water inside the cryo chamber rises. It's almost up to his neck, and with Bruce completely alone, there's nothing he can do. In another memory, Waylon talks about the day Thomas Wayne died, saving Matches Malone, who had been the only child left behind. Thomas practically sacrificed himself to rescue him, and then comes a brilliant parallel. Matches never forgave himself, and Bruce also blames himself for taking everyone to the zoo on that fateful day. Waylon asks if Bruce is going to let that guilt consume him like it did Malone. Then Waylon reaches out his hand, and this time, Bruce takes it. In the present, Bruce desperately tries to escape. He reveals a hidden Batarang launcher in his sling and fires it at the glass. The hit is enough to crack it. The water pressure finishes the job and shatters the glass, setting our hero free. At the same time, on the other side, Mr. Freeze is talking to someone mysterious. He says the experiment with Malone was crucial in proving that Gotham's citizens have the perfect DNA for testing at Arkham. The best part? No one suspects a thing. At least no one worth worrying about. But then Batman bursts in, kicking down the door and surprising Mr. Freeze. And believe it or not, Batman says he knows Freeze likes pain, and then reveals his secret weapon, a mini flamethrower hidden in his middle finger. Mr. Freeze tries to counter, revealing he's surprisingly fast, but Batman dodges with impressive speed and returns fire straight to Freeze's face to slow him down. The fight literally heats up. Reflexively, the villain punches Batman while trying to extinguish the flames on his face. The Bat goes on the offensive using his wings. Victor dodges beautifully in that panel. Mr. Freeze also has super strength due to petrified ice in his muscle tissue, and he lands a solid hit, slamming Batman into a wall. Bruce feels 2 ribs crack. Once again, the story jumps between the brawl and Bruce's earlier conversation with his friends. That's when we see Freeze moving almost like a spider. He presses a button and releases all those frozen men from before. Waylon asks Bruce if he really wants to die. In the present, a crowd of people, all resembling Mr. Freeze, swarm the Bat. They're weak, but there are lots of them. Waylon continues, saying it wasn't Thomas's death that made him a hero. It was his life, what he chose to do with it. Then he lights a match and tosses it onto others. A fire ignites, lighting up the wall and revealing a painting of Matches Malone. Wayland asks again, "Is Bruce going to let his trauma destroy him?" Bruce replies, first hesitantly, saying he doesn't want to die. But then, firmly, he declares he wants to live. In the present, Batman breaks free from his attackers, leaps through a window and escapes using his grappling hooks. He's a little banged up, but at least he's free. As he flees, he tries calling Wayland. When his friend doesn't answer, Bruce leaves a voicemail saying Wayland was right and asking him to gather the crew because they need to talk. At the end, we see Wayland returning to his gym, but he's ambushed. Two men distract him while a third injects him with a sedative. Unconscious, Wayland has his blood drawn. The mysterious figures say he's a perfect specimen and that they're taking him to Arc M. The issue ends with a tease for the next arc. Bane is coming. And that's how, for the first time in a long time, Bruce didn't choose death. He chose to fight to live. The problem is that choice may have come too late, because his friend, Wayland Jones, is now in the hands of the monsters tearing Gotham apart. In the next chapter, Bane is coming. And unlike Mr. Freeze, Bane doesn't freeze, he breaks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the continuation of this story. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next adventure.